Oh boy, I love when the seed just starts off and you have gloves. I hate it when we just did inverted and now we're doing inverted mode again. Inverted mode. Twice in a row. Come on. What is this?
I'm telling you, this bot is just like sentient. It knows that we just did inverted, so I'm gonna throw it at us again.
But this time,
hi
with
everyone.
Randomizer.
Oh, it is it? So we just jumped right into the match. But what's up? You heard us like 2 minutes ago.
Whoa!
I'm
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Philian, and it's still not raining on my Animal Crossing island, so there's no good fish. So I'm going to talk about this video game.
What are your turnip prices like?
They're pretty good today. They're pretty good. We're at 167.
Not bad, not bad.
Not bad. Not as good as flippers on Stumpy. I would way rather have them there than like Bottle Vendor or something.
That is true. You know, who could imagine getting a seed with flippers on Bottle Vendor of all places? So, pretty unheard of. But yeah, I'm JTB.
I'm Philian.
You just saw me teach you guys about inverted for the past 2.5 hours. Now we get to watch people that do know how to play inverted for hopefully the next not 2.5 hours.
I'm happy with anything that comes in less than 2.5 hours. Although, with this Randomizer we're seeing already, not totally certain. That said, we did get an early fighter sword for Willard. That'll come in handy. And Locke has been practicing at the archery game, pulling out the pro strats up to 300 already.
Yeah, definitely very useful early on when you do have, you know, this dig game as well as the chess game and the Village of Outcasts. Needing that money for that, so going over to that archery game really does help a lot. As you can see, both our runners are doing that. Get those rupee counts up.
So we did see a map check earlier, didn't we? And wasn't there a fat lot of nothing there?
So sounds like we got some sort of shuffle. I have not looked at their menu, so I don't know if there's those key counts in there. But could be a potential, you know, map compass shuffle. I guess we'll be seeing soon enough.
Mystery is great fun. We don't even know what settings we have at the start of the race.
Locke also finding that out right now. But okay, it looks like it, I want to say probably a key sanity, but I guess we'll find out. As Locke does drop into Skull Woods. Gonna be looking for those text boxes when he does get a small key or really any kind of key.
Yeah, the flippers are also well, hey, the menu will tell us for sure that we're in key sanity, and the flippers are a good indicator of that as well, since that kind of pushes us over to pod more quickly, and with that comes all these extra chests that can have useful items at the start of the game.
Yeah, definitely Mire as well as Pod benefit greatly from this mode due to just the number of small keys that are in those dungeons. We do see that couple compasses over in Hype Cave. But yeah, it gives more value to wanting to go over there once you have the appropriate keys to get through, because there's just so many items you can pick up.
And it also means we're a little less bottlenecked into doing some sort of early blind fight, though as we saw in the last race, with early sword, blind isn't so bad. It's that hammer one that really dings people.
See, that's what I remember from the tournament 2 years ago, doing the Samaria and oh no, Locke. The anti-fairy just like, nope, you're not coming through here without paying the toll. The
How does
toll
it
is
even get
some magic.
stuck up there? That's like when you're watching the DVD player logo bounce around and you're trying to get it in the corner.
It's Randomizer, anything can happen, including anti-fairies everywhere. But what's fun for us to see is not necessarily fun for the runners to have to go through, so Locke is glad to be done with that room. Willard showing off that knowledge from Inverted, or knowing where all these tree poles are in the Dark World, getting us a lot of those rupees early on. Didn't really have to focus too much on the archery game.
Yeah, that farming is going to really come in handy. It got him dig game already. It means he's not worried at all about chess game. He can get to pod without concern, and the game throws some crap at him like bottle vendor without pearl again. He'll even have enough money for that. Like, this game can be really demanding on your rupees if you don't prep for it.
All right, well, we got Sanity as we see that small key. Oh, we already knew that though, but we still see a small key to the Ice Palace. That's new.
That's fascinating. Like, we have flippers, we can walk in the front door of Ice and do nothing, but either a Bombos or Fire Rod would get us into most of the dungeon. But Willard just pulled Mitts in chest.
Yeah, about to say, that will get us to a few more locations. Granted, to get up to Death Mountain, or I'm sorry, Dark Death Mountain, we do need that lamp to be in logic at least. Usually, you see these inverted seeds all kind of have the same opening. Usually, either are pointed over towards East Dark World, so like Pod and Ice Palace, or you have to go up to kill Aghanim to get Light World access. So looks like with those flippers, we are kind of pointing towards the former. We got that Ice Palace small key. All we need to get at this point is Bombos or a Fire Rod, and you can jump in there and do some work.
Yeah. And, in a lot of seeds, you'd go, oh, I can get to Pod. That's only one check. We're an Randomizer here. That means that those Mimic rooms on the right side of Pod are actually available. So that turns Pod up into 3 instead. We might see something good there. Of course, we can't clear the back of the East Town because Key Sanity, no big key.
Yeah, that's always rough, but at least once you grab that big key, whatever, you can just come in and clear it at any point. We don't know yet if there's a boss. Is boss shuffle already included in Randomizer, or is that just like a separate possibility?
It is a separate possibility in addition to the regular enemy shuffle possibilities. So there's really no way of knowing until we walk into a boss room if we're on boss shuffle. Which is always a little scary in this mode. You finally get your first dungeon boss access, and you do all of that trek towards it, and then it's an Argus and you don't have hook shot, and you just go, ha, dang it.
There's plenty of times I've gone into Pod and like, all right, got all this progress to make, and then it's Argus at the end, and nobody has a hook shot. It's always the worst feeling. You get to the end of that long dungeon, and then you don't actually have the tools to be able to complete it. But so far, our runner's just doing kind of the same paths at this point. Locke over in Thieves Town going to pick up those first 4 items, and then Willard going ahead and grabbing some stuff in Skullwoods.
I
This
like the
point,
part
we're kind of
where Willard didn't get the anti-fairy at the back of that room.
I'm sure he probably didn't even consider that can happen. Locke is the only one that can actually talk about that. All right. So what do we have? We have 1 check at pod.
3.
3 checks at pod. Yes, this is Randomizer. We don't need the bow for the right side.
Pyramid catfish.
That's true. So we do have a few checks we can do. We often see, early game, really not a lot of checks compared to what you would get in a normal Light World start. There's just very few locations, so you tend to find progression much earlier on. And then once you hit Light World, you have like a million locations to check compared to what you had previously. Locke heading over to that catfish. Is this going to be our progression, or is it going to be over at Pyramid or in Pod?
Oh, hey. There's also a small key to pod in Skullwoods that our tracker Irritable Penguin picked up on that I didn't see till now.
I
that actually
did not see that as well.
That makes pod even better. That's like 5 checks now.
Now, shout outs to Penguin for tracking this, because I can't even track key sanity by myself on my own reason. So having those keys being listed there really going to benefit us.
Oh yeah, Penguin's doing all the hard work. We just have to talk good.
I love talking good. My favorite thing to do. All right. Well, nothing at Catfish. Willard can go over there too and turn that in. Give that stone to that angry little dude. And then, yeah, everyone, see, they're kind of on that same path. Once you kind of knock out those accessible checks, you're kind of forced over here to this pod area. So we're just gonna see both runners kind of do the same exact thing.
Yeah, I like the bit where you do catfish first, just to make sure it doesn't tech you.
We have a question asking, what do you need for Light World access? You have a couple different options. You have your normal, hammer, mitts, pearl, just as you would in a normal inverted seed, or a normal seed. You can also go to the top of Dark Death Mountain and finish Aghanim Sour and get a portal to the Light World next to Link's house, or kind of where that bridge is, would be in the Light World. So at this point, with regards to this seed, we are looking for a Moon Pearl to get some access. Now, granted, the Moon Pearl can be in Light World still.
You know where else it could be right now? Is Ice Palace. Since Locke just got and Willard's about to get bombos from the pyramid. I feel like I'm in a time loop here. Didn't we just see this?
This is like really making me remember that 2018 tournament where it's just like you had to do, everyone just picked hard mode, swordless, inverted, and you just constantly had to do like 3 heart cold stare with a hammer, and it was awful. Granted, we're not swordless for this. And there's that roller Willard in the face. Never know when they're going to show up. Just walking along, and then suddenly there's a roller.
This is where all that money they got earlier comes in handy, where they have so much, doesn't even break the bank to go to pod.
Right. Oh, speaking of pod money, just more flashbacks to like a few hours ago.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys
Speaking
forgot about that.
Speaking of money, Willard's farming a big 20 before he goes into Ice Palace. Huh.
I wonder what can be in here.
This is interesting divergence we're seeing. I like the call from Willard, but he takes the death to just bail on pod. You know you're not completing either of these dungeons when you come in.
Yeah, heck pod. Go Ice Palace all the time. You look more impressive when other people are watching when you go into Ice Palace with 3 hearts. So Willard is definitely just playing to the crowd right now.
Just right now?
Just right now. It wasn't until now. That roller death, I don't think that was for us. I think
That's
that was
fair.
an accident.
Oh, and that works out for him.
Oh, grabs that flute.
Well, kind of. I mean, flute sucks in inverted. We all know this, but
Yes.
I guess with an early flute, at least you can activate it first time you go to the village, and then you'll have it for zipping around the Dark World later. Like, it's better than getting the flute once you're already almost in go mode.
So a good scenario for Willard right now would be to find the pearl here in Ice Palace. That way he can kind of dodge pod for a little bit. You'll get that flute activated. But I think more than likely we're just gonna see the Moon Pearl on pod, and you're gonna have to go to, or actually Locke may not even go to Ice Palace to grab that once he gets the pearl, if it is in there. Oh, situations. Definitely very interesting so far in the seed.
Well, pod's not working out too well for Locke. I mean, the Turtle Rock big key he just got is going to be useful to have eventually in the race, but nothing big here. Just another small for Turtle Rock, and it looks like Ice Palace was the play.
Willard going for that Ice Palace bomb jump. Maybe
Tell me about the bomb jump when you can't beat the dungeon, JTB.
Bomb jump, not terribly useful. The reason for that is once you get to that pit that you drop down to the room before Cold Stare, those switches are up. So in order to get to that iced tea chest, you have to drop down, go back up, and run all the way over. Now, if the switches were down, you could just run over and save a little bit of time. So that's kind of one situation you would not want to do the Ice Palace bomb jump. Now, if you're gambling on possibly a hammer or something you need to actually finish the dungeon, sure, you can take that chance. But my opinion at this point, I would not be risking that. Now, it's not a big risk. It's maybe 10 seconds at most. But still, as far as optimizing, your routing through a dungeon early on, something you kind of want to keep in mind.
Yeah.
See, I thought about that. That was that freaking spike pit when I was in there. It's just like, do I want to go across? I don't think this is in logic because you don't have hookshot.
So it is in logic what Willard just did, but you do have to be at your full 3 hearts to get across there and back safely.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, that's something to remember for my next inverted seed in 2 years from now. But yeah,
I mean, it is a little rare that they've cleared all these things so far and have gotten no additional heart containers. The odds just don't let this happen normally, but it's rando. Sometimes the odds are weird.
Have you heard of expert item pool?
I have. Have you heard of Bombos and how both Willard and Locke are using it to just clear out these awful Randomizer rooms?
Yeah, that's something that comes with experience. Some of these rooms can be... Ooh, here we go. I want to see what Willard does here.
I can't believe he got out.
What?
Did you know he could have skipped that entire room if he hadn't done the Ice Palace bomb jump?
should have done it. He just skipped it. That was very impressive. Like, when you get stuck in a corner like that, it takes, all of your focus to get out without dying.
Yeah.
You really pulled that off. So,
we like to make fun of people. Willard especially, we like to make fun of. But the truth is, he plays this game so much that he's got a real knack for walking into rooms like that and just going, hang on, let me pause, let me read the room, see what I got to do, pause, buffer it, take it slowly. He can handle that in ways a lot of people get stumped or thrown off by and totally rattled. Also, he's a dingus, and now we got to say mean things about him for 2 hours to make up for that.
See, I don't think I can really say too many mean things, especially after, what just happened the past 2 hours. So, Willard, I'm giving you all my support. I'm not to be biased, but please take this win.
Yeah, so we got some trouble here for Locke. He's down to 2 hearts, so correctly he's made the read. He can't get that chest from the spike room. He's going to need to heal up and then get over there, because that's his progression.
That is, if he wants to do Death Mountain in the dark, he's more than welcome to do that. He is going to grab 2 hearts in here, at the very least, but still, if he wants to get all the way around, he's going to have to do some fancy little bomb jumps, which are going to
eat into his hearts. Yeah.
If he can do the hook shot room of all the berries, well, if he had picked up another heart, he would have been fine. But
yeah,
I guess not.
I guess not. This is it's a little worrisome for Locke. Maybe he'll get some more health right here.
To be quite fair, inverted mode, or rather low percent inverted mode, which is what we're seeing essentially right now. There's so many situations that you just never really consider until you're thrown into them. 3 heart, needing 3 hearts for the spike room.
Yeah, I had never thought about that before today, and now today I've thought about it 3 times. Like, these things don't always come up.
Right. Locke, knowing he needs to do something here, he's going to take this hit, but fortunately, he's only going to have that 1 heart to get over. No, he's not going to get anywhere across that pit, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, really rough. Now I'm just
there is hope. Maybe these guards.
Yeah, it's like I haven't been watching the packs, but okay. Locke is going to go ahead and dodge that. Meanwhile, Willard is in the light rolled Death Mountain, grabbing that small key, that big key, to be honest, for Misery Mire. Not really useful at this second, especially because we would need Kane to go ahead and clear Mire, but could have a potential Bombos entry to there.
Yeah. The boy, the seed is looking a lot like the one we just saw here on SpeedGaming. Maybe Willard's going to go over to Super Bunny Cave and get the 2 chests there, but this is looking like another Aga seed, possibly without Moon Pearl. And Willard's just gonna double down and go straight into the tower, making the probably correct call of I have to do this no matter what. Except this is key sanity, so we can only get 1 chest without the keys. That's actually potentially better for these guys. And there's the Moon Pearl in the first chest. So, good thing Willard is teaching me how to play this game. Good for him to get that, as Locke is climbing through the dark room as well. Gonna end up with that Moon Pearl soon. And hey, with Mitts, that's our Dark World access. You know what's great about inverted Randomizer is that crossing that bridge is no longer anywhere near as dangerous because there's no Lionel shooting at you. That actually works out. So Willard gets his 4th heart container. Locke is sequence breaking up the mountain. When he sees the moon pearl here, this will actually work out. I think if he makes the right deduction, he'll just go, hey, that was probably lamp I missed in Ice Palace. Great, now I know where my lamp is. And he can go back to that kind of at his own leisure. And he'll be back there eventually. Since that map to Ice Palace just showed us we have a crystal there. And with a Quake to enter Turtle Rock, Willard is not going to be doing the front door there anytime soon, though. Of course, A, we don't have Kane, and B, front door to Turtle Rock isn't super common in Randomizer.
Oh boy, that not the skull woods. I wonder what that can be.
Either a pendant or a crystal, I think.
Pretty good call. I think it could be one of those, but could be a hook shot here. There's our big key for Ganon's Tower. So you guessed like number 40. Well, congrats. There was no game.
Oh man.
But pretty nice find. That's always good to find early on. Especially if you don't really need anything out of Ganon's Tower. We still don't know what those requirements are going to be. But if we can just clear out Ganon's Tower, just like go mode it, that'll be kind of a nice little relief for all owners.
Is that an ice rod?
Okay, this is
I think that's
27 minutes in. I like to consult the bot because Ice Rod is not supposed to show up until at least the 2-hour mark.
Sorry.
Well,
Bot's closed.
Here's the kind of a fun little tunnel for Willard.
Yeah, you know what? Randomizer's great for removing Lionels from that bridge in the Dark World until it moves them into Spiral Cave on you.
So there's our Lionel count number 1, I want to say. I don't know if we've seen the other ones yet. But
I don't think so.
You can be sure that they will be in equally awful locations.
Yeah. So, Locke's back in Ice Palace. This has me a little worried. Just because of the time sink. Like, I know he knows it's progression on the right side. It's just too bad that he's making this trip all the way back here just to get a lamp. Like, that doesn't really do a lot for him.
Right. That's kind of the awful part about inverted is that, you know, you can't just like put a check away and just go somewhere else. That's your only place you can actually go to. So you're kind of forced to, you know, having double dip, you know, Ice Palace just to grab one chest because that's the only place you can go to, as opposed to, you know, any normal seed where you can just be like, I'm just going to go to this area instead. You don't get
he
that
may
luxury.
be doing the same misread I did earlier where he thinks he has to do Aga, when in fact he just needs Moon Pearl from the first chest in that dungeon. Because, hey, we're playing Key Sanity.
Meanwhile, Locke is playing pinball with this dead rock, not wanting to get out of his way.
Oh, Willard gets bopped by a Beamos on his way to that last chest. I want to shout out like all the maps Willard's been getting so far. You know, Key Sanity is one of those modes where you don't know exactly which dungeons you have to beat. And you combine that with Mystery, where you don't know how many crystals you need to beat Ganon. Suddenly, every map you get is that much more useful information about how close you are to finishing the seed. That's actually really going to come in handy if we keep seeing maps drop in at this rate.
Yeah, that is very true. There's so much more value when you don't know what those Ganon Tower requirements are, or the Ganon vulnerable, because you don't want to have to go ahead and do a dungeon that you really didn't need to, just to find out like, oh, I could have gone right to the end. But
Yeah.
Willard doing pretty good at knocking out all these checks, being kind of efficient with his routing, not really having to go and double dip stuff. Yeah, see, I would have to say Locke probably leads here after grabbing this pearl.
Oh, he has to. He has to. He's got no
Oh,
keys.
he doesn't have a key. Freaking Key Sanity, man.
Yeah, Willard, we know you have the flute. Willard, we know you.
Hey, Willard, do you have a flute?
Willard, we know you have the flute. We know he's got the flute. To be fair, I did this when he was calming me once, so. But no, like talking about efficiency, Willard's doing this really well. He goes and gets the smith before he does his first trip into the main light world, and that way he gets to activate his flute, do all these checks in this area, and then drop off the smith. At this point in the race, you're not worried about skipping checks and which things you can pair off. What you're looking at is this whole area and what's the fastest way to check every single item, because you assume you're going to check everything.
Mm-hmm. Also, just like Willard, like you said, plays a whole lot of Link to the Past Randomizer. So he really has that experience when it comes to routing in these kind of these modes that you don't see very often. So not to say that there are people that don't know how to do inverted in this tournament, but Willard, he knows how to pair off stuff, whereas someone who hasn't played inverted a lot, like me, he knows, like, okay, I can do all these things at once, and just be really efficient with these checks, like with the blacksmith and such.
Yeah. Speaking of things that work out well, can I interest you in a pod key, JTB?
I don't know.
Because we just got 2 in back-to-back chests.
Wow.
And that actually
2-for-1 special.
That actually works really well. Now this I can't credit Willard for. He made the play into Ice Palace instead of Pod. That means on his first trip to Pod, he's going to have 3 keys, which is access to most of the dungeon at once. That's potentially one less time he's going to have to walk through the maze.
Yeah, that's really going to help, because you kind of far, running all the way over there. But yeah, having those keys on your first go through can be really nice. Doing the bomb jump to the big chest as well to save a key just makes it even more efficient.
Speaking of a lot of checks in one place, or keys in one place, I think we also had 2 Turtle Rock keys in the well.
And the shovel.
Game.
Like, there's not really much better place you can get that shovel than over here as well, because you can just walk it right down to that grove.
He was probably going that way anyways.
Meanwhile, Locke takes on the Lionel, the big boss Lionel, and just says, I'm gonna run right through you. I don't want to deal with you. Oh, that is a find.
Tempered sword. in the back of the tavern.
But more importantly, we know it's not expert.
Yeah.
We're just not getting heart pieces at all.
Yep.
Oh, this is don't you love Mystery Week?
I love Mystery Week. It's great fun. I haven't had to play yet, so this is all good. I'm learning so much about the game that I will not put into play on Thursday.
All right. Well, Locke finishes his Dark Death Mountain adventure. Gonna head over to Kakariko Village and kind of do the same checks that Willard's been going through. So now we both have both our runners on that same path.
Willard just a couple minutes ahead from only going into Ice Palace once and clearing that out, getting his lamp on the first trip.
Man, that Temper Sword looks so nice.
Oh!
So does that mirror.
That mirror at race game.
Mirror.
Very handy.
That is something you do want to see early on to kind of help routing through these dungeons more efficiently. But more importantly, that's going to mean I'm going to go back over to the smith area, grab this purple chest, and just run right down to this over to the dam.
Hey, if you're going that way anyways.
Might as well. So everything kind of turning up Millhouse for Homer. Don't know how that works, but definitely the routing or the placement of these items for both Locke and Willard in Kakariko Village gonna be very nice. A little, nice minute of relief as we get a little bit more progression.
Hey, look, it's inverted mode. We changed how Cave 45 looks so you can actually walk into it in the light world. Nice.
Wow, that's a big key. To Ice Palace.
To Ice Palace, but we were just there.
Oh, game.
And we don't want to check that big chest until we have a hammer.
That is true. If we're going into Ice Palace, that is going to be with hammer. Not with that ether. That ether, not really going to help us in Ice Palace. Could help us in other places, but definitely not Ice Palace.
I mean, it might get us into Mire.
Sure.
It won't get us into Turtle Rock. I think that was Quake. There's also just a bunch of rooms in the game where it could end up helping because it's just the most efficient way to clear a room.
So we know half magic will at least show up at some point for our runner. So if that does show up early on, yeah, we're going to see a lot of ether cleared rooms. So that was a T-Rock red crystal as well as a Mire red crystal.
Thanks, Red Bomb guy.
Yeah, a nice dude.
Is he skipping dam? Or just doing this check first?
No, that is a good question. And
okay.
It looked like he was about to, but he just really wanted to take that scenic route around that rock.
I think he might have just brain farted on dam for a second there.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing good in the purple chest. Smith just with a hard container. Locke didn't pick those things up, but it's not going to hurt him too much missing them.
Willard doing that hook clip through that I don't know, what do you call that thing? Not a rock.
The pushable block?
Pushable block. Okay.
The 16 by 16 pixel object that can be moved and also deleted with a mirror.
That's another way to describe it. Now, how would you describe the Swamp Palace?
I love this check. You're in the area, you just pulled it and opened the dam anyways. Why not check the first chest and make sure it's not important?
It's nice knowing that you don't have to go super far into Swamp Palace. You just grab that first chest and you're pretty much done. Now, later on, we'll see if we get that small key and whether or not that is going to be a crystal or a pendant. But in the meantime, Willard's still, kind of going through what would normally be early game checks in a normal seed. Going to Moldorm, gonna head over to Ice Rod. I imagine go up to Zora as well. Locke doing the same exact thing, but just a few minutes behind due to those Ice Palace shenanigans.
Yeah, I like the adaptation Locke did. He picked up Mirror from Race Game and said, "Hang on, Smith's right here. I'm just gonna get this out of the way." Again, with Key Sanity, you do kind of go under the assumption you're going to be clearing the vast majority of the game. And so at this point in the race, you pick up everything that's available. Later on, especially once you figure out your goal, that's when you start making the calls of, okay, I can cut this, I can cut this. But right now, you don't skip things. You just get your Swamp Big Key on the Hylia Island.
And just watching Willard go back and forth with that roller just right there. Just kind of like, I'm going to go up. Nope, I'm going to wait. I'm going to go up. And then nope, I'm just going to go over here with this green guard just water walking. The dude doesn't even have boots.
How do you know that? Oh, because the red guards run really fast, so we know they have boots. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I wonder if Willard will check the requirements that are definitely on the left and right exits for Hyrule Castle, specifying exactly what the goals of the seed are, and will help him route the rest of the seed.
That knowledge is useful for runners attempting to finish the race.
That is a very good piece of information to have. So, for all the runners this week, now you know. See, you would hate to get in a situation where you just don't know where the requirements are. There's a stone there? I had no idea.
Yeah. So, you never see anyone take this path, but it worked out for Willard with all the routing he was doing. There is, in fact, a rock there that you can pick up with gloves, sneak into the castle this way, that gets you access to the Uncle Passage, so you can do this, and then combo the escape check with the goals on top of the castle. And get your Quake while you're at it.
All right. So, medallions are done. I really wish I just had Willard and Locke race before we did, because I would have been watching this and been like, oh, there's
I can do this in inverted.
I'm learning. But
Locke's a little less concerned with some of that Eastern Light World stuff and Southern Light World, and is going to head straight into the castle. So both of them going to get their goals within a couple minutes of each other.
Yeah, and I'm really interested in seeing what they do on the seed. It's always kind of like a interesting moment once you see what those requirements are, because it just you begin to really formulate a plan for whatever else needs to be done. And I'm a little excited to see maybe we get 3 crystal cannon tower, maybe we get 3 crystal cannon requirement, or we just get all dungeons again.
Yeah. If you're watching this and you're like, what are the options for the goal? You can click on that link in chat and get taken to a page with the options available for this mystery and the weights. And we learn we need 4 crystals for GT and 6 crystals to beat Ganon. And
Well,
part of the
how
game is
about
going to be
that?
Ganon's Tower.
So that's going to be interesting. We were here for the last race. You did also see a lower requirement for GT than to kill Ganon, with actual progression in Ganon's Tower to clear out some of those other dungeons. So definitely, I would not be surprised if we see either runner after getting those 4 crystals. It was 4 crystals, right? Not 3?
It was 4, yeah.
It was 4? Yeah. Okay. See, I'm already forgetting, and it's not even my race that I'm participating in. So, but nonetheless, like I said, it's going to be, I would imagine they do kind of beeline over to Ganon's Tower, because there's a whole lot of checks there, especially for Key Sanity.
Yeah, and knowing we have to beat Ganon's Tower, because that pyramid or castle hole isn't opened, and having the big key already makes it a pretty clear choice. At the very least, of I'm going to climb the tower when I can.
Oh, there is our small key to Swamp Palace. That is a fully clearable Swamp Palace once Willard goes ahead and grabs that key. I believe, I want to say that was on the Lake Hylia Island.
Yeah, that's where the big key was. So,
But yeah, that's
hey, you know what? That's not a fully clearable swamp. That's a check
That's
one more
true.
chests and then get blocked by hammer swamp. You.
But hear me out. That could be a
Okay.
chest that has a hammer. You
That's
know,
how I feel about that.
that's an appropriate way to feel about that, because that is a very, very crappy location to have the hammer show up. But fortunately, we do have quite a few checks before we have to resort to those kind of plays, such as Ice Palace, big key chest, which is also just as bad.
Stop naming chests that are check one thing, and then stop because you don't have hammer. That's just a bad time.
But we do have a good amount of stuff. We have Zora, we have Eastern Palace, Sahashala. We have these checks up here, specifically Graveyard Ledge, which you do not need the mirror to go into, thankfully. So we have plenty of other places that we can look for progression before we resort to the bad stuff. Locke doing the same thing as Willard, gonna jump out here. I imagine he is gonna, yeah, looks like he's gonna head down to Lake Hylia, knock out those checks that Willard had already done, and we're just kind of watching him follow in his shoes. At this point, we haven't really seen too much divergence now that all of Light World has opened up for us. But I don't know, guess we'll have to wait and see once we get like a bunch of locations opened up.
I just want to be able to beat a dungeon. Is that too much to ask?
Like even Thieves Town, you just need one key. And
yeah, but it's a big
sure,
one.
It's a big key. It is a big key, but it's just like, I just want to finish this dungeon. Now, let me tell you about a dungeon that we can go into right now.
Locke's going into Ice Palace, I know, but we can't.
We can go in there. I never said we can clear it. But Locke just pulled. Or, I'm sorry, not Locke. Willard just pulled our big key.
Yeah, now that is something I like. We can't get there. We don't have the hammer. Dang it!
You can.
Not mad,
like
you're
said,
mad.
So, inverted really kind of it's hard to follow. There's a lot of minor changes that you don't really think about, like needing hammer for like everything we want our runners to do.
Yeah, because of the way the Dark World shapes up, and the fact that we're in the Dark World instead of the Light World, you just can't get the hammer except coming across the bridge, which is blocked by hammer pigs. So, yeah. And you know what? The reason I want so badly to get to a boss room in a dungeon isn't just to beat the dungeon. At this
I know
point,
what
I
you're
just want to
thinking.
figure out if boss shuffle is on or not.
Yeah. That's all I mean, we're almost an hour in. And we have not been able to clear any dungeon. Granted, it is Key Sandy. That's kind of to be expected, but just like the anticipation. I just want to know. I want to see that Trinex in Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Trinex is the only boss we can't beat right now.
Ooh,
Ooh, Locke getting bopped by a chain
sniped.
jump on his way to Ice Rod Cave. That's not good.
Especially in inverted mode where you have to, go all the way back to your portal. But let me just say this, we're kind of dunking on our runners a little bit. This is an extremely stressful mode to have to deal with. Inverted really forces a lot of low percent-esque situations on you, such as Lionel's in the desert. Especially with green mail. So, just major props to both of them so far. Doing a great job of, kind of mitigating some of these rooms. Be as efficient as possible. Yeah, you can go follow them, but for now, let's worry about this race. As Willard sings us a lovely song. What song does Homer sing to enter Desert Palace?
It's just one note, and it's the same song that every other sprite sings.
Oh, it would have been like,
sorry,
Mr. Plow.
Sorry, I don't know
Mr.
enough
Plow.
Simpsons songs to
That's
be able
my
to
name.
sing that.
That name again is Mr. Plow. I know some Simpsons. Not as much as Willard. He's our resident Simpsons Homer. He is just Homer, actually.
Ooh, Smolky on the torch in Desert Palace.
That is something we're not going to be able to pick up till we have some boots. Locke gonna head over to this Bombos tablet with this ladder that is right there that I definitely did know about as well. And
I know
would
you
have
did.
100% checked that. But just gets a compass for blowing up some ancient monument. Shoutouts to Locke. So yeah, right now there's not really like a clear path to take. We're just following up on these kind of loose leads all over Hyrule.
Yeah.
And hoping that one of them leads to something. Now we can go into here. And we do have
I like this Meyer play.
We do have a lot.
Like, when else are you going to come back to Meyer? But
now he does have the flute, so this is a very accessible location right off.
Oh, that's true.
Just from Save and Quit. But he does not have a cane, so it's just going to be kind of following. I had a thought, and then I saw 3 of those Nazis flipping through the wall. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of expected to double dip, even triple dip some of these dungeons. So Fire has a lot of chests because there's a lot of small keys in here that don't really ever need in a normal randomizer run. There's all these locked doors that you'll never see in this dungeon if you're routing it efficiently. So in Key Sanity, that really pays off because they're all items now. Sure,
Speaking
there
of
still be small keys, but
speaking of Key Sanity Meyer, ideally what you'd do is you'd go left here when you first enter the dungeon. And then you flip the crystal switch, and then at least you can get that small chest on the right side when you do the big chest. But JTB, did you see what was in that big chest?
I saw a 20.
I saw a 20 with a green rupee on it. Sounds like hard mode.
That is, yeah. Why did they get hard mode?
So hard mode is a fun time. We get Tempered Sword. I think we get Fire Shield. That's the second level of shield. And I think we max out at 13 hearts. We're never getting blue mail, though.
I'm going to agree with this sentiment from a specific person in chat named Chelsea X Lynn, putting in an angry face. I also am making an angry face right now. Just so
I'm making a happy face because this is just so much nicer than what we saw before this run.
Yo, chat, if you're enjoying this race, let's see your happiest face, because I certainly am enjoying Mystery Week so far.
How can you see chat's faces right now? I can't.
Well, you smile. That's wow. We got some angry people here.
There we go. Now we can see the smiley faces. Thanks, chat. That's right, Willard. You can't beat the boss here.
Mystery Week is a thing.
Keep searching.
Yeah, unfortunately, Willard is going to be able to get, like, most of these checks.
He can do everything except the actual Diddy fight in this dungeon.
Right. That's 7 whole chests. So, like, compared to the 2 items you normally get in Meyer, I think that's a really nice play to make.
There's some value.
That is not value, though. Compass of Thieves Town. Don't really need that.
I can tell you, without even going into the dungeon, both runners have 4 of the 8 items in Thieves Town. They're missing 4 because they didn't have the big key, and when they go back in, they will get the other 4. Thanks, Compass.
I don't know. Maybe not, because
I mean, maybe if it's go mode.
They don't have a hammer.
Oh.
Yeah,
right.
This is
something about
another bad room to be in with low health, because you have to go on those spikes, and you don't have anything to, protect yourself.
Did Willard never make it over to Ice Rod Cave? Did he miss the boots there entirely?
Wait, what?
Yeah, he just didn't go to Ice Rod Cave.
He jumped off and went to Lake Hylia. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, talking about divergence, Locke taking what I believe should be a lead, because we know there is a small key on that desert torch. Don't know if it's a useful key, but that is going to help Locke speed things up a bit.
Yeah. 2 checks here, that small key. I guess 1 item on the torch once we get into GT, but mainly Locke's just going to move through all of this way faster. And you know what location sucks in inverted mode?
Tell me, what location sucks?
Ice Rod Cave. It's like the catfish of inverted.
It's just so far you have to go. You have to first you spawn at Link's house, and then you have to go through the portal, and then you have to run all the way around Lake Hylia. It's I totally forgot that he skipped that. I was just so focused on that big key to Swamp Palace that he grabbed. That Ice Rod Cave is a very inconvenient location. So this is a good thing for Locke. Gonna help him kind of catch up with this routing a bit.
Yeah, which is good. Willard just pulled out a little bit better on execution and a couple double dips avoided. So he's been running with a bit of a lead in terms of overall checks, in terms of, actual crystals, we are now 1 hour into the race without crystals.
But we do at least know 4 of our crystals. We have Pod, Mire, Turtle Rock, and Ice Palace. So those could be the 4 that get us into Ganon's Tower. Who knows? But I'm feeling like this is going to be another one of those long seeds. So put your seatbelts on. We've got a long day ahead of us for Speed Gaming 1.
I'm awake. I'm awake. I'm awake.
But that's just kind of what you expect from Mystery Week. You don't know what you're going to get. You can get Fast Ganon, you can get all dungeons, Key Sanity, Expert Mode.
You can get tons of rollers in the hills in Eastern area. Jeez.
Watch out for those rollers. I guess my stream is like a little bit behind, so I just saw that.
Alright. Locke Chicken Saha tells us that green pendant is Skull Woods. At the very least, that narrows down what our crystals aren't. Gets us closer to knowing what they are, but Sahasrah's Closet has no value today. I think Locke's about to head into Pod as well. Join Willard there.
Mr. Stalfos Head? Or Skeleton Head?
Please
move.
Or Locke's going to do Eastern Palace first. Actually, this is probably better.
He has already dipped into Pod, so I could see him
and he's got the big
thinking. Yeah.
With Eastern Big Key and Lamp. Oh my goodness. Locke can beat a dungeon. It's a dream come true.
Wait, no way. Oh, right.
Well, sorry, he can get to a boss in a dungeon. This better not be a Trinex. I will be so mad.
Come on. Give us Trinex, please.
No.
Not because...
No.
Okay, so if you do watch us back, Locke, it's not because my teammate is playing against you. I just really want to know, is this going to be a boss shuffle? And I really want to hear Leon's reaction to that.
I mean, I want to know if it's going to be a boss shuffle. I think everyone watching this wants to know if it's boss shuffle. I just want them to be able to finish the dungeon, and that requires anything but Trinex. Anything. Heck, give them Armos Knights. Just so that they can use the boomerang strats and count to 288.
Is that really that? Oh my god.
It is 288 boomerangs to kill all the Armos Knights. That said, Tempered Sword spins are going to be faster. Ice Rod shots deal with their health fairly quickly for at least a couple of them. So, there's faster ways.
What I'm hearing is that when our teams... Oh, I'm also hearing there's a hammer right there, which is very useful.
That's really good for Locke.
Yeah, that's... Locke is really... I don't know if he's intentionally making these calls, because it's just kind of, like I said, you just follow up on a bunch of loose leads and hope you get something, because really hard to follow the logic in mode like this. But
yeah.
It is certainly paying off for him, getting the boots as well as the hammer.
Yeah, boots in Ice Rod Cave leads him to Bonk Rocks, gets him to Eastern Big Key so that he can beat Eastern. Oh my goodness. So Willard gets the great find of Big Key and Pod. Locke is also going to get that in just a second. And I was going to say, and beat Pod, but we do hard require that bow for the Igor statue. So Locke ain't doing that right now.
Ooh, that is a room.
This room is fine except for the giant yellow spike.
It's like the elephant in the room, except you're not supposed to ignore him. You're supposed to just get hit by him. Pay attention to me, the big spike. All right. Thieves Town Big Key and Pod. Pod is holding our big keys.
Huh.
So I imagine Locke would probably mirror and go over there after
Yeah.
maybe clearing this out. I'm saying maybe. We don't know. This is...
That's a lot of guards. Okay, so what you want to do when you walk into this room in Randomizer is be charging your sword. Because if you have a spin ready, you can just wipe half of those out in one go.
Okay, this could still be boss shuffle.
I'm just so happy we can beat a dungeon.
It could just be vanilla Armos.
We're beating dungeons.
We're beating dungeons in an hour and maybe like 8 minutes, 7 minutes. We're gonna have a crystal. Maybe. We don't know. It could.
Yeah, this could be a pendant.
We're gonna have something. Locke's got to be a little bit careful because he is going down in hearts very fast. And Willard picks up that small key to Hera, so he is... Where's he going to head next? He has to get over the Ice Rock Cave as well as Eastern Palace. But whoa, there we go. That is a find right there. I don't even care about the pendant. That fire rod on
that's great.
Knights, that's a big item.
That's really good for Locke. So 2 items in Eastern Palace, both the hammer and the fire rod, locked behind the big key, which required boots from Ice Rod Cave. That is big for Locke right now.
Very much so.
Good news is I think Willard is headed to Ice Rod Cave right now if he gets around this chain jump. So he is going to get those boots and find himself on a similar trajectory, which turns out is exactly what he needs to be doing.
Yeah, definitely Willard making the correct play here. And Locke capitalizing on, already being in the area, being able to mirror from Eastern to Pod. He's going to get his big key for Thieves Town as well as Pod, so that means we're going to see another boss. It'd still be boss shuffle. Just saying, it could have just been Armos there. I'm going to hold... I'm just going to...
You really want boss shuffle. You want someone to just face check a room and find a Trinex, but you know what? Locke can beat any boss he finds at this point.
That is true. Both with the items he has as well as his skill as a runner. So
yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, that is true. You need more than the items. You need that gamer skill. And Locke is doing a great job, especially after kind of those early mishaps. Once you get onto your second row of hearts, and once you get a tempered sword, things become a lot easier. You would be surprised.
You sound like you miss these things, JTB. Did something hurt you recently?
So
I'm sorry to hear that.
So Willard. Look, I'm just saying, there's a 5% chance for expert item pool, and 2 of the 3 mystery seeds I did in the past week had expert item pool. So
sounds like you're very lucky.
I'm very lucky for Twitch chat. Maybe not for me, but anyways.
All right, so
video games.
Locke's in a really good spot now. Like 10-15 minutes ago we were saying these runners were kind of just wandering around hoping they stumble into what they're supposed to do, because that's what happens in Key Sanity. You're like, which dungeon do I dip into? Locke getting that Eastern big key, then getting Fire Rod, Hammer, Thieves Town big, all these things work together really well to give him this idea of, great, I can full clear the back of Thieves. After that's done, if I want, I can go full clear Hera. Like, these are dungeons that might be required for entering GT, and they're certainly going to have a lot more checks along the way. And if Locke keeps this up, he's just going to keep getting direction from the seed about how he's supposed to play. Oh, and Locke also ducked his head into the blinds room, the blind fight room, saw there was no boss there, and that's a good way of confirming no boss shuffle today. So he is going to have to open the floor, talk to the maiden, rescue, quote-unquote, rescue her, and all that. But at least we know what boss is going to be in every room. And that lets us prep mentally and with some menus a little more easily. Willard on Laser Bridge got another pod key, which he's going to want for finishing the dungeon, and picks up the frustratingly inefficient turn-in of the mushroom. But can't check anything else in Turtle Rock without the Cane of Samaria. Okay. Interesting little point of divergence here. Locke in Thieves Town with the hammer is going to be able to open this big chest. When he does that, he'll see it contains a small key for the castle tower. That is probably good for him to see. Or rather, good for Willard. We've already got one key. The second one doesn't really unlock anything. And importantly for Willard, who's not checking this chest, he's not going to leave anything too vital behind. Only reason we would need that is if something's in the lumberjack. Which, and we do have boots right now. So we might see Locke do that check sometime soon.
I do believe Willard checked and it was just 3 bombs, I want to say.
Oh, did he?
Seemed like a very long time ago.
Okay. Sorry, the checks of things like lumberjack are starting to run together between 2 races.
I don't remember what it was in ours.
300?
It was like... How do you remember that?
Man, game's weird. I know that's not an explanation, but game's weird.
Game is weird.
Willard,
as
throw that bomb on the bomb pool floor, please. Thank you.
All right, Locke takes his second pendant from Thieves Town. Still no crystals. We're just, we have this 4-6 requirement.
Okay. You know what's great about getting 2 pendants and then finding out where your green pendant is? You know that every other dungeon is a crystal, so you're not playing a guessing game with that.
That is true. That is good knowledge to have for a key sanity. What it also means is that we have a long seat ahead of us because we have a lot of dungeons to go through.
That's right. Both our runners know this, but if you missed it earlier, we can tell you 4 crystals to enter GT, 6 crystals to beat Ganon. So what we'll probably see is 4 crystals, then the runners climb GT, maybe scout it for some items. And then they look for those last 2 before they finish the game.
So now I believe we're going to see Locke head over to that Eastern Death Mountain. I don't believe we have seen those checks just yet, correct? As far as the light world goes?
I want to say Willard did Paradox. But maybe I'm crazy.
You know what? You are right. You are right. We did see that Paradox play.
No, he must have done Paradox because he was in there doing Laser Bridge.
So weird locations that we have Willard left behind a chest in Meyer, unless I missed him go back in there on that spike pit.
Yep.
So that's kind of just a side effect of not having a lot of health. Plus, can't really farm hearts too much in there. We have. Yeah, I don't even know. It's so hard to like keep track of everything in Key Sandy because you're going into each dungeon like 2 to 3 times. Plus, yeah, both are runners going in very different routes at this point.
Yeah, why can't these guys just do the same thing all the time?
Come on, just 2 players, same controller. Well, that's not a bad location for that Lionel. Out in the open. Oh, hello. There is that Eastern Palace. Big key for Willard. He is going to need that to get to Armos Knights and to get that fire rod. So slowly but surely, Willard is catching up. Locke. It still could be anybody's game, but we do see that big key from Desert Palace. Willard was not able to grab that.
Is that?
As he
That's a
did not have
dungeon
the
we can
hammer.
beat. That's a
That is
crystal
a
we can get. So is
That is
Hera
earth.
right here.
And yeah, well, Desert's a cooler dungeon.
No, it's very
I mean,
warm in the desert. There's like the sun
It
beating
is.
down and all that stuff.
Listen,
Look,
you're right.
I know. I wish I wasn't, but
Oh, that is another small key to Ice Palace that we're going to go in there at some point. We can actually clear that too, because we
yeah.
just forgot
Everything's
about it.
coming up in Locke's path right now. I can do a Hera pot to climb the Tower of Hera right now. It's a good setup.
So, go mode.
Yeah. Hard to say.
We don't potentially need that Samaria.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Wait,
We need
it's
6 crystals, no matter what. So we need it for either Meyer or T-Rock.
We don't need it for. Oh yeah, we do. Just kidding. There is a block at the very end.
Look,
Although I'm sure
I know
Iron
Mendo's
Kid's
Man is in
probably
chat,
hungry.
and I know he can hover Turtle Rock, but I don't think either of these guys can. The the flex that it would be to just hover T-Rock for your final crystal, and then leave. Now I want to see that flex, but
Whoa, that is a whole lot of eyes on that Moldorm right there. That vanilla Moldorm. Giving us a Turtle Rock small key. But yeah, that's a little spooky right there. But yeah,
So-
go mode. We need the cane.
Yep. We Don't? logically, not even logically do we need the bow. So, because we're an Randomizer, so we could just walk up Ganon's tower. If Pod's the crystal we skip, we can do without the bow today.
That is correct.
Now, Swamp is clearable right now. Ice is clearable right now. For Locke and for Willard in a second.
Yeah, Willard making the plays he needs to do to get all the freaking items in loaded Eastern Palace, including the hammer and the fire rod. So he can kind of luck. Oh, this is something I never see.
I love doing spin speed out of Spike Cave like that.
I'm impressed.
It's a common play in entrance. Because who put a Lionel under that bush? Zarby?
This game is fun. It's not fun to play for this kind of seed, but it's certainly a real treat to watch. here we go. Locke is gonna hit up that second chest.
I like the way Locke did that. He used the bomb to not only get up the stairs more quickly, but then to also get through the mirror portal so we wouldn't get forced back into the light world. That was good. But yeah, we have so many big keys. Really, we're just looking at getting the Cane of Samaria to be in go mode, which, has some advantages. We are never going to be doing the right side of Ganon's tower. We will probably do the left, but the chests there are pretty dense, so you don't feel bad checking that.
And really depending on what crystals... Okay, let's look at our crystals that we get. We can do Ice Palace right now. We cannot do Mire. We cannot do T-Rock. We can't do Pod. So,
nope.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to formulate. So we can do Desert though. We can go into the back of Desert. So we have 2 crystals right there. And Swamp Palace has to be our last crystal too. So that is another clearable. So that will give us...
Is that our magic 4?
4 crystals. That could be 4. That could be our Ganon's Tower entry. And I would think if I was routing this, I'd probably just kind of make a beeline to clearing those 4 as soon as possible. Because that, like I said, that density in Ganon's Tower, it's absurd. There's so many items in there.
We talked about this in the commentary for the last race, and this might have been going through your mind too. When Ganon's Tower opens with less than 7 crystals, it's designed to have fewer junk items in it, which means more chances for actual progression. We saw that earlier today with both Ice Rod and Quake in there, so we could easily see it again with Samaria sitting there.
Listen, I'm just saying that would have been nice info to know ahead of time. So you can just kind of send a message back 24 hours.
I talked to Swerve. He didn't want me to use my time machine.
I mean, Lost Woods, we roll together. We're all in this. They're not like those Kakariko Village teams.
I like Willard's use of the Ice Rod in this fight because it just does a fair chunk of these guards' health.
There we go. Willard gets his Fire Rod and throws out that last Ice Rod hit for good measure. Just why not?
Willard, it takes 2 frames to recover that last bit of magic that you just gave up. I hope you're happy with your choices.
He is certainly happy to have gone into Eastern. I know that for certain, because that Fire Rod is necessary for some stuff. But here we go. He is going to go back into Pod. All right, Willard, hear me out. Still need a bow. Oh, come on. You have to...
Willard?
Can't do it.
Willard?
I as much as I want to see Pod cleared right now, we do need that bow, unfortunately, for that statue.
Is it time for a team meeting?
Is it? You know what? I can't say anything, especially after my race. Yeah, there he goes. It's very... Mystery Week is a very difficult week because you just have such a smorgasbord of settings that can be thrown at you.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a correct word, but I like that word.
It's a fair word, I think. The thing about Randomizer Week is, or Mystery Week is, this is the same thing as Randomizer Week, but in Randomizer Week, you go into your race knowing, okay, this is Randomizer. These are the things I have to keep in my head before the race. in Mystery, you load up your seed and you don't know what those things are. So you're trying to keep track of everything before the race even starts. And that means the number of things you have the potential to slip up on are just a little higher.
Here is something interesting. Willard is gonna use his small key to get that last chest there, but
Yeah.
does set it up so he can just do that. Is that considered a soft reset?
That is a hard reset. He hits the power button on his console, or the reset button, reboots the whole thing, which takes him back to the last time he saved, which was when he still had that pod key. So in the event he finds his bow, he's still got a small key for pod that he can use to finish the dungeon. Because, for all we know, we're going to find our bow before Samaria, and pod's still going to be one of our 6 crystals.
Speaking of crystals, Locke is just following up on these big keys that he has, and just knocking these dungeons out. Forcing Hera done, he's gonna go ahead and kill these land moles as well. Once they stop being kind of annoying with their short hops. I see you. I saw that one in the bottom right corner. But he's gonna get his second crystal. He's definitely doing a great job kind of following what he has. And I would not be surprised to see that Ice Palace play right now.
Yeah, ice or swamp, either one.
Take your pick, Locke. You can do whatever you like. You are in the driver's seat right now. Because you are the player, and I am the calm.
In this case, I might be inclined to do swamp just because you haven't really checked anything there. So the whole thing is on the table, whereas Ice Palace, yeah, you can go right side, but that's a bit of a slower thing to get to. Or you could just do Skull Woods because it's right here, it's beatable.
But it is a green pendant, Skull Woods.
That's right, I can't read the tracker.
So it's not a bad play, especially, but I would feel like there's more value in hitting these.
Oh, he's just checking ped. Maybe.
Oh, okay. That's well, yeah. Then you can just go ahead and mirror right there and get right to that full entrance.
If your Samaria's on ped, you go, okay, great, I know what we're doing.
But it's just going to be some money. So is this going to influence his decision to do this?
Locke.
He could just be fluting right here. Yep,
okay,
he's just going to flute out.
Good. I would have had some words and some thoughts for him,
but yeah, here's that play you were talking about. Heading over to Swamp Palace, hoping to get some sort of progression, either the bow or the cane, or both. Because if that happens, heck, you don't even. I mean, we got the Ganon Sour big key, we got a couple small keys. We can just ignore everything on the bottom. That would be that's the dream of key sanity right there. Just being able to know exactly what, just take the fastest route through a dungeon and have a happy face instead of an angry face.
So Locke's got a pretty good lead at this point. Like now this isn't going to last long, but he's 2 crystals up right now. He was the first one to get the boots, which gave you this whole chain of progression towards near go mode and beating crystals. Willard is going to have to pull out some cool trick to find the cane earlier here. I can't remember where the Hera Small was, but Hera Basement might work to his advantage.
That is true. And it's hard kind of trying to determine where you're at in this seed if you're Willard. I don't think he made bad plays early on. Locke just happened to make the right plays. So if you're thinking like, okay, everything I did is reasonable, I have no reason to really gamble. I'm just gonna keep playing like I need to, just play like
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah,
But that, in this
Willard's
case,
route has been good aside from not doing early Ice Rod Cave for boots.
right.
Which, like, oops.
Now, I don't think this is really a gamble. I think this is trying to be efficient and just knocking out this location.
Yeah.
But if it comes down to King not being in one of these reasonable locations, pretty much one of these first 4 crystals are Ganon Tower, I really can't see Willard, taking a gamble on something outside of those to try to find King. I think he just wants to play a normal seed and hope that things kind of line up.
Yep.
Locke has 0 reason to do that. I think like Locke's feeling really good about making that Ice Palace, or not the Ice Palace, but I don't think he feels good about Ice Palace.
No.
But he feels good about Ice Rock Cave and going into Eastern and getting a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I think as a racer in Locke's spot, once you do that chain that leads you straight to Fire Rod and Eastern, you're riding a little bit of a high that makes you just go, I've done this right so far. And that should keep, hopefully, Locke on kind of the right path, this path you were mentioning of don't check anything crazy, don't go wildly out of your way. If we find the cane kind of directly on our paths here, Locke is in a good position.
Now, I do want to know what Locke's thoughts are regarding Mimic Clip in Ganon's Tower, because if he is able to do that, we just need King. We can just ignore everything else.
You're totally right. I've been taking it kind of as read that Locke will just get to GT and do a Mimic Clip. I'm quite certain Willard will get to GT and just say heck it and Mimic Clip.
Right.
If Locke's not comfortable doing that, we could see him searching.
It's Randomizer. It's still Eminized.
Oh yeah, it's Eminized. The Eminis are moving around.
So we don't even need a bow. We can just ignore bow.
Right. The only thing we need a bow for is to get to the back of pod. Look, game's hard, guys.
Listen, I'm just saying, I didn't see Locke do Diver Down. So
I also didn't see Locke do Diver Down. I'm calling him out right here. Locke, can't believe you didn't do Diver Down. I'll teach you after this race for $5.
I mean, if only... So I woke up early this morning and learned Diver Down and Icebreaker and all that stuff. And I should have just learned more about more about Inverted. So maybe Locke also decided to learn more about Inverted and skip Diver Down, which was the right play, because he's doing really well right now.
Certainly looks like he knows his way around Inverted so far. Locke.
This is a much nicer room.
No chain chomps, just blue jellies. A green 20 for Willard. No luck in Turtle Rock.
All right. So where is that king going to be? We have Swamp Palace. We have Ice Palace, Big Chest, and Cold Stare. We have Ganon's Tower.
It's Ganon's Tower. It's got to be Ganon's Tower.
It's going to be Ganon's Tower, yeah. But where could it be that it's not really... It's a kind of a weird location. What do we have left that if Willard were to say, I want to gamble on something ridiculous, where does Willard go to find game? And that's why I'm worried about.
Big Chest.
Ooh.
Or back of Skull. Something in Skull Woods, which, this is Inverted, so they went into Skull Woods early. They did some stuff, then they left it behind. when it's a pendant like this, it's kind of out of your mind. So something like that, or Sahasrahla with the green pendant that you get from Skullwoods. That might be the galaxy brain play you try to make to pull ahead.
Yeah, because at this point, Locke definitely has a definitive lead. Obviously, we don't know where the cane is just yet, but he has a very nice cushion for trying to find it. Whereas Willard, 2 crystals behind Locke right now. We are looking to do 4 crystal dungeons to get into Ganon's Tower, and then potentially find progression in there. Now, we only need 6 crystals to beat the game, to actually be able to deal damage again. So we don't need the bow, technically. Now, we could get the bow and still do pod. I mean, we could have Kane on Helmus Arcane, which would be unfair.
All right, here's a question that's just now occurring to me. Let's say you get the bow and the cane within seconds of each other. Which 2 dungeons do you do?
I do T-Rock, because you have the saving quit right there.
Yep.
Well, not very close, but it's very convenient.
You have to climb the mountain, but you're right. Then you walk into Laser Bridge, and you're right at the boss.
And pod, 100% go right into pod, because you just loot right there. Mire gonna take some time to go through still. Even if it is a God Mire, I still think pod is probably faster, especially.
Well, there's Godmire doesn't matter here because we're in Key Sanity.
Right. Well, I mean, as far as like the route you would take for
Right.
Godmire, essentially.
Right. You're dealing with a lot of rooms in Mire in the basement, and a lot of rooms in pod, but they tend to go faster.
Right. All right. WillardJBradley gets that diver down on like first try, I think. That's pretty cool. Fun little glitch. Really kind of makes swamp routing a lot more efficient, especially doing it on the left side as well. But here we go, Locke heading into Ice Palace. We do have that big chest here. So right now, if you're rooting for Locke, you just want to see the cane at a normal spot. GT or pretty much GT or one of these 2 checks in here.
So then,
Or 4
JTB,
checks.
where do you want to see the cane?
So
Not
I
that you
wanna
don't
see
like
the
Locke,
cane.
just that Willard's your teammate.
Yeah, I want to see it in Skullwoods, because the further you put it away from a normal route, just what you would normally do, the better chance Willard has of catching up. I think Willard has the execution advantage, but Locke is just routed so well that it's just that's really propelled him forward.
Yeah, I think that's an important distinction. It's hard to call out specifically in this race because they've been doing such different things, but I feel like Willard's gaining little bits of time here and there as these guys do dungeons, and that just means the longer things go on, the more of an advantage he can try to get. If we find Kane right in the path, Locke gets to go straight to Ganon, and that gives Willard less time to catch up.
So Willard gonna head over to Desert. I don't know why he just didn't float over to the Mire area in Mir, but
Team meeting.
actually I don't know. I don't know. That may have been faster because he was over by Swamp, but could be wrong. Listen, I'm just hoping for a good finale between these 2 runners.
I would love
teammates or not, both Locke and Willard are good friends, and
yeah,
even like with my match with Chelsea, I had a fun time because also friends with Chelsea. So we're just having a good time. We're just having a good time. even if like these modes aren't really relaxing. We're having fun. So
No, these are not relaxing modes.
yeah. But this is a fun race. I'm glad I was able to jump in right after mine to do this. And I'm excited to see how this is going to turn out. As Locke heads down to Cold Center in his 4th crystal to get his access to Gan Sour. Well, there's that. I didn't see Locke pick that up, but that was just our Hyrule Castle small key.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
really need that.
Yeah, Locke got that. I didn't
Totally
call it
forgot
out
about
because...
Yeah, who cares about that? Alright. Locke needs to be a little careful. He did pick up that red. Okay. I figured he'd probably go ahead and burn that.
Good call. Just don't take any chances at this point. I can tell you, Locke's always going to want to be careful against Cold Stare. The only game my team has won was against Locke, and Cold Stare may have been a factor in that. So,
well, we found Kane.
I do support Locke just going, okay, let's take this safe. I don't want to take, I was going to say like 2.5 minute time loss, but Randomizer is going to be even worse going back through. Also, fix the color on that cane, please.
Yes, please. Here, okay, I don't think we've seen Locke dip into Mire just yet.
Huh.
I totally forgot about that. So he may be, even if GT is open right now for him, in a very convenient spot too. Let me say that about inverted. Maybe, he wants to hope that you just get the cane in here and just ignore everything again sour. That is a risk.
Yeah. Huh.
So I think this is a risk he's justified in taking from how he's been playing so far.
I guess. It's the reason I think this is a little weird is the first thing I would want to do in this scenario is climb Ganon's tower. Because you always have to climb GT. Yes. And you have 4 chests at the top that take no time to check. And if you get them and the seed was evil and put your go mode there, great, all good, you're done. If not, you finish GT, you open the castle hole, and you're right at GT again to check all those basement checks, which come, I'd say, rather faster than doing these 7 spaced out checks in Mire.
Now, we know Locke checked this. If he was watching our last race, which I assume he was, he 100% checked the requirements. You don't forget that, for sure.
It makes difference.
But yeah, you have to climb GT. It's not fast Ganon. Those checks, yeah, sure, they do take extra time technically, but we're talking a matter of seconds overall.
Yeah.
So you go up there and you see, is there going to be a bow here? Is there going to be a cane here? Now, it would suck if they got the bow, because you still need the cane for either Mire or T-Rock, so you're still not in go mode.
Bow's not a fun find. You still end up clearing GT or wherever you find it, looking for that cane. And then you go to pod with that bow after. But you know what? This is going to work out fine for Locke.
Yeah.
Like, it's not ideal, but...
Okay. That was one check we didn't see. Willard did not grab that, so that could have been bad if that was the thing that we want. But this is going to give Willard a chance to catch up. He's only a dungeon behind at this point. Clearing out this ice palace. And yeah, we're going to see each other. I think Locke's going to get into GT a little bit quicker.
Yep.
But they're going to be in it at the same time, 100%.
Yeah, this is partly going to come down to who can do a faster Randomizer GT climb, which is not necessarily the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. You don't know what that gauntlet's going to throw at you. It's
Sometimes,
good that they have. Go ahead.
oh, yeah, I think you're going to say this too. Sometimes the right answer for how do I do this room quickly is spam the medallions room by room.
You know me too well.
I mean,
you got the half magic, so there's no reason not to.
we saw them do this in Ice Palace on their first visit because they only had Fighter's Sword or Master Sword. It was a good call then. It's a good call, especially in the Gauntlet when the enemies are on conveyors, so you can't hit them easily. You just knock them out, medallion, medallion, medallion. It's potentially kind of the safest way to try to do it quickly.
All right, that is it for Locke inside of Meyer. So at this point, he is going to be, should be heading over to Gans Tower.
I think he is.
Just get into the light world and save me quick. That's all you gotta do.
No, we didn't beat Ega in this season, so saving quit's not gonna help him out. It works great if you together. Beat Ega. You get sent straight to the top, but
he could have gone up. Oh yeah, that portal's only there because of the bag. I tell you, I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I'm here
how
too.
Inverted works.
I'm glad you're here
too.
too.
I don't know how this works. I'm glad I'm here.
I'm actually not sure which way of getting to the castle is faster, be it from Flute Spot 5 or from the house. There's kind of one too many screen transitions in each path.
All right, here we go. That 4 crystal entry into Ganon's Tower. Do you... Oh, he's going to do some checks first. If he goes ahead and... so now...
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
All right. All right. That's go mode.
Forget
That's great.
Everything I said. That
I was okay. So here's my defense of Locke doing that play, even though, like, technically it seems like you should just climb straight away. The defense is if you get go mode in those chests, which is exceedingly lucky that he did.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Locke's in go mode. The advantage he gets from doing that is that now the whole climb of the tower, he's not thinking about items anymore. The only thing on his mind is executing. Like, there's a little mental load that gets lifted that is going to come into his advantage here.
Yeah, not having to think about, all right, do I go to Skull Woods? Do I do these really weird checks? Like, you don't have to even consider that now. You're just thinking, how do I do each one of these rooms as quickly as possible?
At the same time, I also would not have checked any more than those 2 chests, and I would only do those 2 because they were so quick. Maybe if you have as many keys as Willard does, I would open the center door and just check the torch button. Like that's it.
Yeah. So Willard, like I said, we're going to see both their runners heading into GT. Kind of be in GT at the same time.
Yep.
We'll see if I would assume, based on what you said, that, Willard would probably do the same thing. Whether or not he does that right now, we'll see. I don't think it's terrible if he doesn't, because if he doesn't, you just go right back into GT.
Yeah. Yeah, you get spit out right here. He's doing it. All right, cool.
Okay, so we have a really close race. Locke and Willard are now in go mode. Locke is just barely going through the gauntlet right now, so this is what you want to see. If you're banking on one of these players being better at execution, like this is we have so much time left. We have Meyer, we have Turlock, we have the Ganon fight. This isn't just like climb GT and be done. We have a whole bunch of randos still to go.
Yeah.
But we got a race. This is going to be a very long race, but we certainly got a race. We're not going to be looking for a bow whatsoever. Pod is just like a distant dream.
Yeah, this is that funny scenario where, you know, sometimes in this case you'd check chests in the hope of getting silvers. But here you're not looking for silvers, you're looking for 2 bows to get silver arrows. So that's like not even an interesting idea for you.
Right. And that does come down to what you believe your strengths are. Like, how far can you push yourself without silvers? If you're not feeling as confident, maybe you do check just to see if you do get that luck on your side and get silvers, because that would be a very fast game fight.
Oh, I mean, we're also in hard mode, so there's no silvers.
Oh, is that okay? Well, I didn't know that. I thought that was only an expert.
You know, they keep
silvers.
updating it, so I just had to go look it up myself. Don't worry.
See, that's why I didn't know where the requirements were for Gannon, because they were probably in a different spot before.
No. Nice try, but no.
Anyways, no silvers.
No
All
silvers.
execution, final destination.
Locke is through that gauntlet. Actually, through pretty much the whole tower. Willard, couple floors behind at this point. Moving fast, he was able to like skip the refill room and stuff.
Yeah, he's gonna need every second at this point. Skipping a couple fairies, securing transition, anything that's gonna help him catch up here. Oh, we have another pretty spooky Moldorm. 5 eyes. That's way too many eyes.
Oh, and Locke not having a good time with Moldorm's head just coming at him at the wrong spots. Does get that down, but
yeah,
you know, we're talking.
It's still very tense.
Not wanting to give up seconds.
All right, so Willard. Yeah, Willard. I don't know. I should have actually looked at the time. Let's take a look at the clock once. The block enters at 1:52:34 for Agatu. Keep that in mind, then we kind of have a definitive idea of where Willard is in regards to Locke.
Ooh, Locke missing a round of hits.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. You should at least be able to get 1 per round. But I don't know, you're 2 hours in. You're feeling exhausted, worn down. Sure, you're in go mode, but you're also thinking, where's my plan? You still have that weighing on your head at this point, now that you're able to beat the game.
Yeah.
But does manage to clutch that fight out. Does get it. So he is going to be heading up to Meyer and T-Rock. Willard getting that very quick Moldorm 2 kill. Going to be hot on his heels.
All right, so Locke spent about a minute exactly almost. How's that for fuzzy matching? But approximately a minute in that Agatu fight for Locke from like entering until the bird picked him up.
Okay.
And looks like Willard's going to be entering it about 90-ish seconds.
Now, if he gets a quicker
minute 25 after.
Agatu, that's what he wants. Very good start.
Oh.
I don't know if that was a triple or a double, but that looked very close.
Yeah, this fight is already going much better on Willard's end.
Even if he had hit that angle, Agatu was already out of there.
Oh my
that
goodness!
Like as a triple. What a fight!
That
Willard
is
making up time.
How you do difficult Agatu patterns.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was like,
yeah. Locke's got to get in the light world here.
You gotta go that way.
You can go to Laser Bridge drop down. So Willard made up about 10, 15 seconds in that fight. Which is, good. He's got to make up that time about 6 or 7 more times, which is difficult at this point. I'm not sure he can do that. Locke knows exactly where he has to be and is just beelining Trinex here.
Yeah. Very good with that block dash as well. Anything that Locke does to save time, like Willard has to do that as well, or just risk falling more behind. So there's still things that can happen, but the match is very heavily favored right now for Locke.
A lot of this is going to come down to how well do you do those rooms in the Meyer basement, which, even if they're not hard to get through, they are technically demanding to get through quickly. Especially if you're, say, able to do a spooky for that second switch in the Meyer basement. That's several seconds saved right there. You're going to have to be able to do your 1-and-1 in the Ganon fight, and then your triples in phase 4 reliably. And that's going to, if you're Locke, keep Willard off your tail, and if you're Willard, catch you up to Locke.
Plus, both of them have no idea how close they are to each other. They're just
That's right.
As good as possible.
Willard's going to tell us in the interview that he closed his IRC at this point once he hit go mode, and he doesn't look at it until he's done, because he doesn't even want that weighing on his mind.
Right. So, Willard also getting this fast Trinex fight. I think this is going to be pretty much even for 2 of them. So, no time saved for Willard, but no time lost either. But here we go. Like this room right here, this Meyer 2 room, this is a room that can really take a while to do. Have control over.
Sometimes that crab just walks in your way if you're Locke and, gets in the way of your sword and takes care of himself for you. That's exactly what you need.
Mm-hmm. All right, Willard, gonna go ahead and flute straight over to that Meyer as soon as he gets out of this to rock. Okay. So yeah, we need 6 crystals to beat Ganon right now. Locke is heading down to his 6th crystal right now. Willard is going to be entering the same dungeon to do the same. Very close race on SpeedGaming tonight for Mystery Week into the past league tournament.
Ooh, he knocks his bullying Willard. He is 70 seconds behind entering Meyer 2. This is gonna go Locke's way, it looks like. Locke remembers critically not to hit the crystal switch in that room. When you come back to Meyer for the second time and you're going straight to the boss, you don't hit that first switch, you just go straight through. I can tell you that from many bad experiences.
It's very easy to forget about
It's the muscle
that.
memory. You just go, right, I'm in this room, I hit the switch. Duh.
Right, Willard taking kind of a little bit of a different route. I don't know if this is faster or not. I feel like it's just way more screen transitions, but I could be wrong. But Locke going into his fight, can just pull out that cape, go for those strats. This is what I'm talking about.
This fight is like cathartic at this point in the seed.
Right.
Slashing the sword all the time like this drains your magic more slowly, so you're not so worried about that. And there we go. Locke is done with his 6th crystal.
And that... Oh, this is... This is definitely Locke's game to take. As much as I don't want to admit that.
Sorry, man.
But, he did... I mean, for how, like, divergent they were. Locke pulling up those those big items in Eastern. We're still coming down to like minutes apart. All right, Willard goes into his Vitreous fight. Locke heading up to Ganon and going for the map check. There are no more crystals on there because you don't have the map for Pod.
Also, Pod's in the other world.
That is very true. Pod is a Dark World dungeon.
So, Locke about a minute and 5 seconds ahead, coming out of Misery Mire. He has just been able to hold steady against Willard, who's, quite accomplished as a runner of this game, both in randomized and non-randomized categories. This is what Locke needs to do, just stay on target.
Yeah, and 2 hours in, you have to be feeling fatigued. If he is fatigued, he's not showing it at all. He is just killing it with his execution.
Sadly, he missed the spin off the Trident, so he's not going to get the 1-1 here. But Ganon, being a bro, is going into the top right. Locke can just sit here and spin all day.
Yeah, at this point, even not getting the 1-1, probably not even going to matter. Locke pulling out all the safeties onto phase 3. Assuming nothing awful happens in this last phase, this is definitely looking like Locke's game to win.
That's right. Ganon can warp like crazy all around the arena, but he's going to do it the same amount for both runners, because as much as we like random, we don't like some kinds of random.
I
Willard.
appreciate the sign. The sign sucks.
Hey, what's it like to have Ganon call people a dinkus?
Ooh. All right, we're both in the Ganon fight. Locke does miss one of those swings, so he just hit him with that slash to set up for a silver arrow, but fortunately no silver arrow in this hard mode.
Yeah.
But it's...
It's got torch.
Willard's doing a good job, yeah. Willard's executing really well, but I don't think it matters at this point. I think Locke just has
if Locke
this.
Can keep up these triples that he is pulling off exactly the way he's supposed to. This is how you do phase 4 Ganon, folks. Stun
Do
Ganon.
I dare say he has this on lock?
No.
Oh,
okay, now we can say that.
We get Locke having the Ganon fight on Locke as he does get that 12th hit on to Ganon using that Temper Sword spin. He is going to be our winner for week 4, game 2 between I can't even say it. It's my own team name. WJPTBB versus But We're Buddies. Taking 2 wins this week. Congrats to Locke. I don't know what the time is. I don't have IRC open, but it's a good
Locke's
time.
official time is a time of 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 12 seconds. So good work on his part. And Willard finishing up soon, then we'll talk to both these guys about this.
Yeah, what a day. What an act. Like, shoutouts to our good friends over at But We're Buddies taking those 2 wins today, getting those 6 points. It was fun.
Willard finished up with a time of 2 hours, 4 minutes, and 7 seconds. So we're looking at, like a minute and 5 seconds between these... No, 55 seconds between these runners. That is a close race.
I don't know. His timer is still running. As far as I know, Willard's done, but Locke.
Hey, you're not in the IRC, though.
But congrats to Locke, who joins us now.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Hey,
how's it going? No, I asked you that first.
I tied you on that. I don't even know.
And hey, Willard, how's it going?
Hey, it's going. Glad that's over.
Yeah. The beginning of the seed, I was just like, oh no, oh no, what did we get?
So we were just like the warm-up act for this, like all these shenanigans you guys got in your seed.
Yeah, you really were.
I mean, the seed wasn't really that bad. It's just really hard to route inverted key sanity efficiently. So, because every single chest could be something super important, so you got to just do everything and hope it works out. Still kind of surprised, even with the Randomizer, how close this ended up being. Because I usually rely on my execution, and was not expecting the dot done a minute before me. So GG's, Locke.
Thanks, GG's, man. I wasn't expecting the dot done before you, honestly. Like, the nerves almost got to me.
Yeah, GG's to both of you. And Locke, yeah, we were thinking that too. Like, you got the cane in GT, and you knew exactly what you needed to do. And you're 2 hours in. Most runners going to be feeling like fatigued at that point, but you were just executing super well for those last and very important few minutes. So the biggest thing in this race was you pulling those boots out of Ice Rod Cave, as well as doing that Eastern play. That was something that really set you on the path to getting this lead over Willard, getting all those crystal dungeons knocked out. So as far as deciding factors in this race, those two plays were certainly it.
Yeah, that's what Go ahead, sir.
I said the first time I went over to Ice Rod area, I died, and I was like, I plan on doing this when I get the boots, but I'm like, what if? What if the boots are over here? And I just screw myself again. So I'm like, I'm gonna go over there.
Yeah, I routing the light world is awful in inverted in general, especially without earlier boots. And because I always had that portal at Ice Palace, if I wanted to go back to Ice Rod Cave, it was really easy to do. So just kind of unfortunate luck that's ended up being where the boots were. And where did the Eastern Big Key ended up being? Was that behind boots?
Yeah, Bonk
Yes.
Rocks.
Okay, so yeah, me skipping literally one check basically screwed me for the majority of the seed, because I did so much extra stuff looking for that dang hammer. So that's
Yeah, I can
pure
see that.
definition of randomizer.
Because as soon as I got those boots, I took the portal to near Bonk Rocks and just went that way towards Eastern, and it paid off big time.
Yep. I mean, once I got the Eastern Big, I went straight to Eastern as well. I think I checked a few things along the way, but I think I still did stuff with the boots prior to getting those, including finishing Thieves Town. But I don't exactly remember what, so.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I don't think your routing was bad at all. Like you said, this is key sanity. Every single check can have, whatever you need to go, further in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just literally, I hope that I find this thing right here, even more so than just your normal mode, because, you have so many checks in each of these dungeons. Ice Rod Cave is not really a good check at all. Like you said, Locke, you don't want to check that without boots, because you're having to walk all the way over there. But it just,
And the path
that
getting
was
there.
Yeah, that's Randomizer for you.
The path was dangerous.
But yeah, that was the biggest thing. Really came down to the wire. We were really unsure if Willard was going to catch up, just based on execution. Later on, after that cane was found, but like I said earlier, Locke, you really held on to that lead, post Ganon's Tower. And for this to be, just I think it was like 50 seconds or so apart, over 2 hours in an inverted key sandy, that just really speaks to the skill level of both of you. So GG's to Locke for the win, but definitely, good game to both of you. for putting on, such a great race for us all to watch.
That was a wild ride.
Glad you had fun.
Yeah.
So I think that's just about it. Everybody's getting those 2 wins for this week. We're going to be wrapping up here. We do have a Final Fantasy 1 randomizer race coming up very soon. But if you'd like to watch some more Link to the Past, we do have a few races happening right now. Maybe not. I don't know. It's mystery. It could be 1 hour. They could be 3 hours. But we have a race happening in an hour over on the ALTTPR League between Dr. Bobtastic and Digidude, as well as a late night race between Hippo and Fear Agent, our wonderful mod rolling all these wonderful seeds.
I hope he gets
So if
something
you-
wonderful.
I hope he gets the most comfiest seeds that include expert item pool, all dungeons, key sanity, cross world, swordless. But that's going to wrap it up for us. It's been a pleasure calling with you. And it's always a good time. GG's to you both, and we will see you guys next time.
Take care, everyone.